You know those types of women that have this internal glow about them, this queen-like energy, this magnetic energy, this internal knowing of confidence. They are radiating in this aura, right? It's not about the way that they're looking or how they're dressing per se. It's this internal glow. I'm going to tell you 3 things that these types of women are most definitely not doing with their time. 3 things that if you refrain from doing in your everyday life, the way you will have the most insane glow up ever, the way you will physically transform, your energy is cleansed from within, and you will actually physically start to change, start to glow, attract different experiences, attract queen treatment into your life, attract positive experiences, high worthy, high value woman experiences is absolutely insane, okay? I'm so excited to talk about these 3 points. They basically piggyback off of my hibernation aspect of my self-love course. I'm teaching a self-love course. This is step number 2. We're going to talk about the hibernation specifics more at the end of this video, but these 3 things are part of the hibernation. To fall in love with yourself, to become the best possible version of you, reach your highest potential, know yourself, have self-respect, have boundaries, to go from being an extremely insecure, weak, fragile woman to this fierce lioness, to this confident woman, we need to hibernate. We need to isolate for a little. We need to crack ourselves wide open, get to know ourselves, get to know our strengths, our weaknesses, put ourselves back together, and reemerge into society as this queen, as this confident bunny that knows herself. She's unbreakable, she's bulletproof, and she's just a fierce woman, okay? I'm so excited to discuss these 3 points. My hibernation was everything to me. I reached rock bottom. I was very insecure in November of 2023. I was a shell of a human, literally, and I went into a self-induced hibernation, naturally just started retracting, pulling myself back, and doing all of the other things I'm going to talk about in the other steps. And I'm living to tell the tale. I'm living to teach you how to fall in love with yourself and feel the way that I do today. It is the passion behind this course, how easy and fun it was, how I did it in my own house. It was free and it was just incredible. And I'm so passionate about the hibernation aspect of it, of the isolation. I'm so excited to discuss these 3 points. So let's get into it. Like I said, I'll talk about the hibernation at the end. Okay, number 1 is you cannot be sleeping around with random people anymore. Queens are not doing this. Queens are not engaging in this type of behavior. They are not giving their body away to little boys who are undeserving of them, that aren't courting them, that aren't taking them out, that aren't treating them like the queen that they are, okay? Most women that are doing this are coming from a place of an emotional void, right? They are seeking validation, they're seeking attention, they're seeking people to tell them that they're beautiful, that connection that women want from men, that safety, that emotional, bond that we crave so much. And they're trying to find it in these one-night exchanges, but ultimately it's just leaving you feeling worse, okay? Ultimately, your boundaries are no longer. You don't have self-respect, you don't have boundaries, because through each of these exchanges, you are telling yourself, you're telling your subconscious mind that it is okay for a man to not court me, to not take me out on dates, to not treat me like the queen that I am, and I'm going to give him full access to myself. I'm going to give him full access to this sacred, beautiful temple that I hold. And what's more than that? What's more than fully giving your body away to a man? There is no more than that. So naturally your boundaries become very low, and the threshold of what you accept into your life becomes very low, because you feel like that's all you have to offer to them to receive that, again, 1 second dopamine rush that you're getting from them, that 1 second attention that they're giving you, when in reality they're just moving on and doing that to the next girl, and you're left feeling worse. And your self-worth suffers because of that, because again, you're allowing these men into your life without building your trust, without building, access to my energy, access to the sacred temple, slowly allowing them, to unfold and giving them access to you. You're just giving it away. You're giving it away freely without any, you owe me this, you need to treat me like a queen, you need to take me out, you need to treat me like the queen that I am. You're just freely giving it away. again, naturally your self-worth suffers because of it. Naturally, you regard yourself as a person that doesn't have a lot of respect for her body and doesn't have a lot of standards for herself, and just allows multiple men to come in and treat her that way. And I know this is not an easy thing to hear or, digest for a lot of people, but that's really the truth of it, because these men are just continuously going and doing that over and over and over again. And it's up to you to have respect for yourself and for your body and for this temple that we hold as divine feminine. And if you want to be radiating this queen energy and attracting queen treatment, that you need to respect your body. You need to respect your body. You need to respect your womb space. The womb portal for women is literally the most divine thing on planet Earth. It creates life. It is so sacred, and we need to protect her. We need to protect her. And when you engage in this type of behavior, you are pushing away that queen treatment. You are going so far the other direction, because queens that are attracting emotionally available men, men that are courting them, men that are, spoiling them and making them feel like this queen, just treating them right? Having respect for them, checking in on them, being aware of their emotional state, making them feel fulfilled internally. You're not attracting those types of men when you're doing these 1-second exchanges. You're not attracting those types of men because your vibration is so low. You're regarding yourself as somebody that, again, it's okay for me to give my body away to these types of men and match their vibrational level. You're going far away from the queen treatment type of woman that you aspire to be, and attracting that king that all of us desire, right? And it's fucking up your energy. It's really messing with our energy. We are energetic beings, and it's imperative that you understand that from this video. If you take anything from this video, you need to understand that we are all energy, okay? We are more energy than we are these physical bodies. Everything is our energy. And when you are, imagine when you hang out with somebody that's anxious and all of a sudden you start feeling anxious and you're like, I wasn't feeling anxious before I saw this person, right? You're absorbing their anxious energy, and you're starting to feel your heart race. You're starting to feel weird. And when you sleep with somebody, this is happening to you on a magnified scale, okay? They're entering your womb portal, the divine portal that I was just talking about. They're entering your portal, and you don't know where they've been. You don't know where these men are coming from, especially when you're doing over and over random exchanges like this. Men are not healing. Most men are not on healing journeys, right? Most men are not looking within and going to therapy and trying to release all the trauma and all the suppression and all these demons that they all carry. They're suppressing it, they're running away from it, and they're just going through life. Women, I would say, are more so on this healing path of trying to, unravel it all. So when you sleep with somebody, it is the highest level of energetic exchange between two people. Again, he's going into your body. So you are absorbing that energy from him. Any traumas, any self-doubt, anything that this person is feeling, any icky energy that they carry, you are absorbing that into your body, and it stays with you for years and years. It leaves an impression on your electromagnetic field, on your aura. That's why you leave the next day feeling icky, you feel more insecure, you have anxiety, and you're like, why do I feel this way? It's because you just absorbed all of his energy from him, and he's leaving you feeling worse. He's leaving you basically, when you have sex with somebody, you're releasing oxytocin in your brain. Women release oxytocin, the bonding hormone between two people, that where I feel safe with him, I trust this person now, it's such an intimate act. You're releasing that in your brain. They're releasing more dopamine than they are oxytocin. That's why it's easier for them to have sexual exchanges and move on from it and be fine. It's not like that for women. We are a different species, and we need to understand that. So when you're releasing that in your brain, even though you're telling your mind, this is just a fun encounter for me, this is just, whatever, I'm just having fun, it's not that big of a deal, right? That's what, society and most people are trying to portray this whole thing as. It's not fun in games, because your body unconsciously is being attached to this person. And when he moves on and he's not texting you the next day and he's not calling you and he's not checking in on you, you feel feelings of abandonment, of rejection, of, again, your insecurity spikes, all of these feelings and emotions that are dysregulating your nervous system. Now it's going to take you weeks to get your nervous system back to place, back to regulation. your aura and your energy is screwed because you're carrying all this shit from him and you're not doing work to clear your magnetic field. You're not doing work to clear that stuff from your body. So now you just adopted, already you're not working on probably releasing the energy that you carry on your traumas, on the things that you're holding. Now you're carrying this other man's. Now you're carrying his. Now you're carrying his. You know, everyone's different with the amount of people that they're sleeping with, but it's not a joke. You really have to respect your body, and you have to respect, you need to regard yourself like your energy, like your being is liquid gold. Like you are a queen. To be around me is an honor. To even know me, to shake my hand is an honor. Let alone to sleep with me. No, that is how you need to be thinking about it. That is how you need to tell yourself that every single day from this point forward. Do not let any man come walk through the door and sleep with you and have full access to you in that way. It's so much more detrimental than people are understanding, and it is wiring that into your brain. You are wiring it into your brain, and your self-worth, your boundaries, the energy that you are allowing into your life, the experiences that now come into your life without you even asking for them. Your energy, your self-worth, what you unconsciously think about what's acceptable for you is naturally lower. So you are going to attract these experiences over and over. Unavailable men, abusive men that want to, take advantage of women and move on. And then women ask, oh, why does this keep happening to me? What are you doing? How are you treating yourself? Are you regarding yourself as a woman who is worthy of that unconsciously? Does your unconscious mind believe that about yourself? If you're sleeping around, it's impossible, okay? So absolutely not. From this point forward, if you're on the self-love journey, you're going into a celibacy journey if you don't have a partner. And just generally in your life, you don't want to be doing this. It's, like I said, it's so much more detrimental than we're thinking about. It's not just a 2-second exchange and you're moving on from it. So I was over listening. I have to tell the story. I was over listening to my fiance, Nick, was talking to his best friend, and he was like, how's that girl doing? Insert name here. What's she up to? How's she doing? And his best friend goes, man, she's like Postmates. I can have her whenever I want her. Do you want to be a Postmates? Ask yourself, do you want to be Postmates? Or do you want to be a Michelin star restaurant that everyone in town is trying to get in on that? Everyone in town wants that reservation and no one's able to get it. They're harassing the manager. They're harassing them over email. They're trying to get in and they just can't. And even when you do get a reservation, it's in 6 months from now. Or do you want to be a Postmates, readily available to men because you're so insecure, you're seeking some sort of validation, again, internally, that's going to leave you feeling worse than you were before. These exchanges, they're this quick exchange. It's always going to leave you feeling worse. The void gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you search and you crave more. You get that release. And then again, the void gets bigger and then you go crave it again. It's this toxic cycle that we need to break. When you stop engaging in this activity, if you stop doing this, if this is something that's familiar to you and you stop engaging 6 months, 1 year, I know a lot of women that have done this. The way that they glow, the way that their skin starts to glow, the way that they're not carrying bags under their eyes anymore, the way that they feel cleansed, they start to be more magnetic. They attract men that actually want a relationship out of them, that actually want to make them their wifey, is insane, okay? Again, queen bunnies, they're not doing that. Moving on. Okay, next, she is not associating with and hanging out with negative, toxic people that just don't want the best for her or that are simply not aligned with the path that she's, desiring to go on, the type of woman that she desires to be. If this video has found you, you're clearly trying to better yourself, right? You're trying to be this queen-like person, trying to surround yourself with women that feel empowered, and you desire that for yourself. Your higher self, your soul, however you want to put it, has that, wish for you. You're being drawn to that right now. You need to really listen to this. If this is speaking to you right now, you really, really need to pay attention to this and not ignore the signs, okay? not everyone is meant to be in your life forever. And if you keep yourself stuck in friend groups that you are not aligned with, your life will stay very small. You will stay very small. Your mindset will stay very small. And you're stunting your own growth just because you don't want to be alone, or just because you're scared of the unknown. You're scared of stepping into a solo journey, whatever it is, right? If you surround yourself with people that are judgmental, you're going to be the next judgmental person. If you surround yourself with people that have lack mindset, you're going to be the next person that has lack mindset. If you surround yourself with a group of millionaires that know it's possible to make money in the world, that opportunity is endless, growth is endless, they have this optimistic mindset, right? You're going to be the next person that has an optimistic mindset. You're going to be the next person that goes out and makes their dreams a reality, because there is so much abundance in the world. There is so much opportunity in the world, and every single person can achieve that. Everyone is not meant to stay in your life forever. Everyone is not meant to go through every single chapter with you forever and ever and ever. Evolution, outgrowing people, reevaluating your friendships, seeing, is this friendship serving me or is it not serving me anymore, is normal for the human. You should not have blinders on and just continue in the same groups because you don't want to be alone. The lonely is where you find your power. The lonely is where you reevaluate your life and you say, that's what I desire for my life, and this is not serving me right now, right? And this is said with so much compassion, and this is said with so much understanding that everyone is going to be on a different timeline. Everyone's going to be on a different, you're going to outgrow your friends quicker than everything is happening at different times, okay? And there's some friendships that are just not worth saving. There are some friendships that you look at that you're like, I've outgrown you. You don't like that I'm growing. There's contention here. There's jealousy here. There's comparison here. And both of us are not good for one another. I'm not making you feel good and you're not making me feel good. So maybe you'll have a blow up. Maybe you'll naturally realize that this is going on. Naturally, you guys are separating. And it's up to you to use your discernment and say, you know what? This friendship is not worth me fighting for. I'm going to trust my intuition on this one. I'm going to trust this internal voice in my head that says, I'm just going to walk away from this, and I'm going to send them away with love. I'm going to send them away with, I'm praying for you tenfold. I wish you find so much abundance. I wish you find so much happiness in your life, right? We're going to wait for this plane to pass. And then there's going to be friendships in your life that, the self-love journey is going to speak volumes to you and show you a lot of people's true colors and show you where people truly are, right? When you feel really insecure, when you're feeling down and you're around a lot of people that you don't have clarity of vision, you don't have clarity of, I don't have that level of respect for myself. I don't have, my light's not even shining through. So I'm not even triggering people per se. I'm not even, that isn't coming to the surface. When you start to fall in love with yourself, when you start to walk different, when you start to talk different, when you start to act a little different and you're in your light, right? You're in your power, you're feeling confident, you're dressing different, you're just feeling yourself, okay? Every dynamic around you is going to change. And I want this to be part of this video because if you're going to go on the self-love course, you're going to experience it. Every dynamic that you have, family, friends, partnerships, it's all going to change, okay? And people will start to act differently towards you. People are either going to express how proud they are of you. You're doing so amazing. Can we get some of that juice? Like, what have you been doing? Let's talk about it. That kind of sisterhood bond that people are not afraid to express how proud they are of you. And those are the types of people that, you're going to go to the next step with, that are on the growth period that you're on, that want the same things out of life. And it will speak to you again through your intuition. And you might have people that are subtly, throwing some jabs at you. They're so unhappy themselves. They're so miserable themselves that it is really difficult to see other people win. And again, this is said with so much compassion and so much understanding. People can only meet you where they are. People can only give you how much they have to give. And when people are truly suffering inside, again, you're not going to see this when you're an insecure person. You're going to see this when all of a sudden you're shining in your light and you're like, that person isn't liking what's going on, or that person isn't, we were fine 6 months ago and now there's a shift in the dynamic. And again, it's up to you to use your discernment on if these friendships are valuable enough to you where you need to stand up for yourself. You need to express, vocalize how you're feeling. A true queen, a true woman who has self-respect, a true woman who has boundaries is not going to let things pass her by, is not going to sit back passively and allow people to, wrong her or sly her in any way. And I used to struggle with that a lot, where I was like, I know where people are coming from. I know people are insecure. I know people are struggling with that. And I don't need to say anything because I already know what's going on. You know what I mean? But naturally you start to build resentment. Naturally you start to, it's an unnatural relationship and it's unhealthy for you already again, and it's unhealthy for them. And sometimes you're the only person that's going to go to that person and say, what's up? Like, why are you being this way? Why are you acting that way? Why are you saying this? Or whatever the situation may be. Maybe you're going to be that light for them. You're going to be that eye-opening moment for them. And they're going to be like, you're right. Like, I have been miserable. And it was such a low moment for me that I said that. It was such a low moment for me that I should have shown my support. I should have, said or done something differently. And you were that light for them. And when you find your light, you're going to trigger people. You're going to be that mirror for people that crave that light themselves so much, that want to be confident, that want to step into their power, and they just aren't there yet. This is going to come out in various ways. And when you do have that conversation, when you do stand up for yourself that way, then you can navigate where you two go from there, right? Maybe I was that light for them. I was that moment for them that they are like, wait, I don't want to be this person. And they have the 180. And just like Brenda had a 180 when she had a conversation that sparked this light in her. And everybody is that for one another, right? And I feel like there's this culture of just drop them and very aggressively kind of like in your ego, and it's all about me. And it's not about you so much. It's really people suffer and people are not maybe going to grow as fast as you. And we kind of just have to understand that. And through standing up for yourself and through using your voice like a queen would, you can navigate where you'll go after that, right? Maybe this friendship needs some time. Maybe this friendship needs a little break, and maybe we'll find each other in the end, or maybe we won't. And I'm going to trust my intuition that this wasn't a good conversation. This wasn't it was an unsettling feeling, and that's okay too. And I'm going to send you away with love, right? A true queen, a woman in her power, has compassion and she has understanding. A woman in her feminine understands all of this and understands that everyone's at a different point in their life. And like I said, it's okay to outgrow people. It's okay to say, this is no longer serving me and I'm sending you away with love. So if you are craving more from your life, if you are craving, you're saying, you know what, these conversations aren't, feeding me, I don't feel good in these, I'm craving something more for my life. You have to make space for the new to come. You have to say, I'm going to put the past over here. I'm going to put the past a little, arm's length between me and that world, me and the version that I was over there, because I want to step into this version. And there's going to be a void period. There's going to be a period where you're not in the past and you're not in the future anymore. And it's a lonely period and you're trying to navigate and you're trying to figure it out. But you have to just know internally the woman that you are, the woman that you want to become, and know that your people are going to find you, and know that you're not a lonely person. You don't have friends. And I don't want you to repeat, and I'm saying this even to myself, you don't want to continue saying these things, because it's a period of solitude. It's a period of hibernation to welcome in this new life, to welcome in a beautiful, full life. And my camera's about to cut off, so I'm just going to start it. 1 second. I have learned. It cuts me off at 29. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if you are wanting new, you're going to, which I will teach you in the other steps of this course, you're welcoming in new. You're saying, God is going to bring me my people, and I know it. And until then, I'm going to water my tree. I'm going to surround myself with myself. I'm okay in the lonely. And in this self-love course, the hibernation aspect is so important, because when you do surround yourself, even with friends that want the best for you and that love you so much and that, do want to see you grow, the reminder in your brain of the past version of yourself is the disassociation that we need to create between Brenda present day and the future version that I'm looking at, I had the most insane amount of growth because I took my hibernation so seriously. I drew strict boundaries. I was not afraid to be alone. I was alone every single day, every single weekend. I didn't talk to, like, I was alone, and I have grown so incredibly fast because of it. I have flown through timelines of myself because I put the past, everyone I was in all their eyes, everyone I was in my family's eyes, is no longer. She's in the past. I don't want to associate with her. I am so focused on the future. I am so focused on the queen version of me that I am creating, and that is it. And that is how you will have the fastest transformation, I'm telling you. Lastly, a queen, sexy little bunny is not spending her day gossiping about other people. She's not spending her time so worried about what everyone else is doing, so intertwined in what everyone else is doing with their life. She is so focused on herself. She is so focused on her life, her potential, her future, what she wants to make of her life, her family, you know, stepping into her wifey role, whatever era you're in, that's your focus. You are your number one priority. These queen-like beings, they are 100% of their focus, 100% of every ounce of their energy is on themselves. What you focus on, where you put your energy goes. So when you are constantly talking about other people, when you are constantly in the know, you know, what's going on with this girl, let's talk about that girl, your energy is seeping away. Like it's goodbye. You are not going to be this powerful, strong, you know, woman with this fierce aura about her because you're not preserving your energy. You're also in this low vibrational mindset. You're in this mindset of judgment, of comparison, of envy, because people that gossip, people that are looking at other people's lives and so intertwined and putting this person down and talking about her wedding and they're filled with judgment. They're filled with judgment themselves. That's why you're judging other people. Queen-like people are not judging other people. Queen-like people are so in love with themselves, are so in love with their potential, they've rid themselves of judgment. I don't have judgment within me to spread to others. And there's no judgment coming from this video whatsoever, by the way. I know what it feels like to gossip, and I know what it feels like to, what's the tea? Let's do it. You know, it's a dopamine rush. It actually releases dopamine in your brain. You and that other person have a bonding moment, releasing dopamine, bonding, and saying, you know, we're going to put this person down to make ourselves feel better. And then it actually messes with your unconscious mind. It messes with your mind because you start to look for things to gossip about. You start to look for drama. You start to look for things to go to your friend. Again, get that dopamine rush. You two have a moment, cycle. You stay in a small mindset. You stay because you have fear of judgment now. You have paranoia. You have self-doubt because anytime you want to make a business decision, anytime you want to have a wedding, anytime you want to wear an outfit, you're going to be like, oh, everyone's talking about me. Everyone's going to go discuss this. My life stays very small. I stay very safe because I'm afraid of all this chatter because I'm chattering. There are people down here that are always going to chatter. There are people down here that are always going to be hating on others, that are always going to be talking about the next best thing. You don't want to be that type of person. You don't want to be in this low vibrational mindset because you're not going to attract high vibrational experiences. That's the truth of it. You want to be functioning up here with these queen-like bunnies that are so focused on themselves. They're so focused on their success. They're not looking at other people saying, oh my God, she went after her, you know, she started posting or she went after her desires. She's judging people, putting them down for starting out, going after the things that they love. They're not doing that. They know what it's like. They know they've rid themselves of judgment and they're only rooting people on. They're only empowering other women. They're only supporting other women. That's the type of woman you want to be because you want to attract that, right? You don't want to stay small. You don't want to stay in this small mindset. It's not a joke to, you know, you have to be very intentional about the way that you spend your time. You have to be very intentional about the things that you think about, what you allow into your life, the things that you talk about. And there's a difference between gossiping and analyzing or, you know, staying in the loop in society because it's very unnatural, obviously. I personally am pretty out of the loop, and I would say I'm an extreme version of that where I genuinely just do not care about anything that's going on in anyone's life. Like if I hear about it, I'm like, cool, it has nothing to do with me. I really don't care. But it's a natural thing to know and to, you know, he's doing that and get inspired by him. These are positive ways to stay in the loop. Analyzing people, looking at her mom's like this, she's like that, and, you know, she moves this way, and that's why she's the way that she is. You know, familiarizing yourself with human behavior, with psychology of why people end up the way that they do is actually very, very beneficial for the human. I'm queen of analysis. I've analyzed every single person around me. I love discussing like all the things, but gossiping is when you're putting somebody down. Gossiping is when you're judging them, when you're coming from comparison, you're coming from envy, and you're saying, oh my God, her hair is so ugly. Her wedding was so ugly. Her dress was so ugly. She looks so fat. And like this negative tone of making people feel like making them small and boosting yourself up because of it. The only reason you're doing that is because you have internal judgment. You have internal judgment. You're judging yourself at a rate that's 100 times worse than you're judging her. You hate yourself. You think you're fat. You think you're ugly. Pay attention to the way that you're talking about other people. Pay attention to the main things that you say about others. That's how you feel about yourself, okay? Once you rid yourself of judgment, once you fall in love with yourself, you don't have judgment to spread. If I wouldn't be able to judge somebody else if I tried. To each their own. Yeah, maybe I don't agree with the outfit you're wearing. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't throw my wedding that way. But I don't fucking care what you do with your life. It's your life. It's not my life. Finding yourself, falling in love with yourself is such a liberating experience. It's such a powerful experience. You really become this being that is so filled with love. And it sounds so, I almost want to say cheesy, but it's sad that I'm thinking that it's cheesy because of the people that are going to be in their ego, or that are going to be in this place of, you know, judgment themselves still, and they're not really going to get what I'm saying. But you really, and I've been there, trust me. Again, this is no judgment whatsoever. I've come from the lowest of lows, trust me. And when I really put my foot down, when I really said, you know, these conversations are not making me feel good. I don't want to be around I don't want to be around girls that are talking about this girl when she's not around, because you're probably talking about me too when I'm not around. And it makes me feel unsafe, and it makes me feel dysregulated, and it makes my nervous system uncomfortable. And I value safety in my friendships, and women need to be around women that make them feel safe. We need community. This whole hibernation isolation period of spending time by yourself, it's for a select period of time. It's for a moment for you to reemerge yourself back in society as the queen version of you, as the version of you that's bulletproof, as the version of you that's going to raise strong children, that doesn't have insecurity within her, that doesn't have judgment to spread, that is this light for people, that is this light for others, that you're going to be the light, and you're going to force people to transform through triggers, through being their mirror, through showing them what it feels like to love yourself and to embody love, okay? And that's really what this journey is going to show you. And I want all of this to be included in this video, because you're going to go through a lot of different roller coasters of, you know, relationship shift dynamics, of getting closer to others. That like there's so much to this whole thing of stepping into your light, of stepping into your confidence, and really forcing yourself. You have to force yourself to surrender to all of it. You have to surrender to whatever is coming your way, whatever shifts are happening. You trust with God, with the universe, source, spirit, whatever you relate to. This is happening for my best, you know, for my higher self, for my highest timeline, and more is coming into my life. I've been in one of the loneliest periods of my life. I've withstood such lonely times, because I know, and my intuition has always been that voice inside that says you have to keep going. And look at the person that I am today. If I show you guys the version I was in November of 2023, the girl that I was, how broken, how small I was, I'm a completely different human being. And watering your tree in the way that I have, investing in yourself in the way that I have, is worth every single friendship going into flames. It was worth every single dynamic saying, anything and everything is worth the way that I feel today. I'm telling you that right now. Trust me, the beauty that comes into your life, and the knowing that you have that the people, the dynamics that are going to match me where I am today is coming into my life, is unbeatable, is uncomparable, is nothing is worth that. You know what I mean? So it's amazing, it's beautiful, it's sad, but it's liberating. It's all of the above, and you're going to experience a range of emotions. You're going to release emotions through it. You're going to, you know, be a stronger version of yourself, standing up for yourself, using your voice, finding your voice, and realizing I was dimming my light all of these years to make people feel comfortable. I was not being my true authentic self to make other people feel comfortable, to keep myself small. I'm no longer doing that anymore. I'm gonna be the loudest, most brave, most unapologetic version of myself and live this 1 second that I have here on earth to the fullest. Live this 1 second doing the things that I want, wearing the things that I want, going, saying, being whoever I want, and no one can tell me otherwise. That's the version of you that you want to be. You want to be this light. You want to be this queen version of you. Life is so short. Life goes by in a second. Life is swinging by all of us, and being the type of woman that gossips and that, again, is so intertwined with others, 20s, 30s, that's like, oh, it's all fun and games. When you reach 56 years old and your young beauty starts to fade, you are no longer this young, beautiful woman anymore, and menopause starts to kick in, and, everything starts shifting for you, you become even nastier. You become even more judgmental and more gross, and all you want to talk about is putting other people down because you want to run away from your life so much. Anything is better than facing myself. Anything is better than facing the demons I've stored inside of me for 60 years now that I'm not facing, that it just becomes disgusting. Trust me, I've seen it all. It's nasty. It's not a peaceful life. It's not a blissful life. It's not a life where you go and you're smiling and you're this source of like just peacefulness in your household for your husbands or your wives, your children. Your household becomes very toxic and dark and black, and it's just something that you don't want to be doing, okay? It's not. Trust me, just trust me on this thing, okay? When you rid yourself of sleeping with men, of random men, of, I have boundaries with the people that I'm going to let into my life because this is not making me feel good. I'm not going to talk about people negatively to make myself feel better, get a quick fix. I'm drawing strict boundaries on all the things that I talked about today. You guys, the physical glow up that I've had, the energy glow, like, the amount of people that have come to me and said, what is going on, Brenda, is insane, okay? The glow that's on my skin, physically on my skin, is insane. I'm telling you, you need to be ruthless with your time, with your energy. You need to be ruthless with your boundaries. You need to be ruthless with how you discuss things, the words that are coming out of your mouth, your mindset on things. You need to understand you are the people that you surround yourself with, the company that you keep, you will become them. It is not a joke. And the last point I want to make on the friendship thing and on all of that is you can maintain arm's length relationships and see, everyone's, dynamics are going to be different. And maybe you see them once every 6 months for old time's sake, for, I love you so much and I want to be that light for you, but I need to, protect myself for a little, and you'll lead them to the light maybe, or you'll show them this type of life and how it feels, and how speaking from your heart and allowing your heart space to open and being in this compassionate, feminine, sexy little bunny state that you're going to be in is such a beautiful, blissful way of living. And it's the sisterhood, it's that, community that you will build through it. Trust me. Okay. So as for the hibernation, like I've been saying, you should and want to take it seriously, but I know it's going to be different for everybody. I had a family friend come to me the other day that said she's doing the course, but she's starting college. And, obviously that's not going to look like my hibernation. Everyone's hibernation is going to be different. As much time as you can possibly spend by yourself, you need to be doing that. I had a partner during this time, and basically he saw how low I was in November of 2023. I was in the craziest depression ever. I would be annoyed when he would say good morning when the sun would come out. I'm not even kidding. I was just waiting for the days to pass, numbing, and it was horrible. And within even the first 3 months, he started to notice a shift. And I was I was up here in this little room just doing the work that I'm going to talk about in all the other parts. So we would have dinner together, and then I would come upstairs and I would do the work. He made a lot of plans with friends. He really respected the hibernation, and I started calling it a hibernation. Like, it was this fun little thing. I had no idea what I was doing when I started it. It just kind of gradually led me to this point. So I always kept saying like, I'm hibernating. So if you do have a partner, I would just have an honest conversation with them. I would say, you know what, whatever you feel comfortable saying, I'm going to do the course, or I just need some time. Go golfing with your friends on the weekend, go have your fun, and really utilize, if you work full time, the evenings, the weekends, the mornings, these are such important times. Every minute counts for this hibernation. I've been in hibernation for 1 year and 4 or 5 months now. And I can't even say you have to commit to 1 year. You have to commit to 1 year. But the magic that happened for me after the 1 year mark in the past 4 months has been insane, like more amounts of growth even than it was before. It's this one step in front of the other, uncracking, and then all of a sudden you're just snowballing down this tunnel of healing, of transforming so fast, and you become addicted to it. Even if you do it for 6 months, I know you're going to be addicted to it. So take the hibernation seriously, really commit to yourself. Your life is your one life on earth, and to give yourself this 1 year, 2 years of time to live the rest of your life in the most blissful, peaceful manner, in the most authentic manner to you. You become so authentically yourself. You peel back all these layers of, I am not the voices around me. I am not this mindset that I've adopted from these people that have been around me all these years. I am Brenda, and I am unapologetically Brenda, and I'm not afraid to be Brenda, and I'm not afraid of judgment anymore. I'm not afraid of being my most authentic self, and I've gone through all of it. I've cracked myself open. I've really rid myself of all these narratives, all these societal, keeping us in this small place, keeping us in this sheltered, caged mentality, this conditioning that they want us to be in, to not reach our full power, to not step into this queenhood as we all should. And it's so easy and it's so fun. And I'm going to say it a million times. And I cannot wait. I'm so excited for all of it. I'm so excited to talk about all the things I talked about today. And I know some of them are not easy things to, digest, and not easy things to hear. And it's necessary. It's necessary to hear it. It's necessary to accept that this is the truth of it. We are energetic beings. Our aura, our electromagnetic field is our entire experiences. Our unconscious mind is dictating our entire life. It's these small decisions that you make. It's these small adjustments that you have in your life that change the quality of your life. Small conversations that I'm not having, small associations that I'm not having anymore. It's take this, switch here, be more empowered here, be more intentional here. And all of a sudden you're a brand new woman, and you're like, how is it that easy? Literally. And that is a passion behind this course. That is a passion, as you can hear it in my voice, behind all this stuff, that it's so easy. It's such easy things. And all of a sudden you are a brand new woman. So I cannot wait to see you in part 3. I cannot wait to continue doing this course. I love you so, so much. As usual, please let me know if you have any questions or concerns, or you want to discuss anything. I love the debate. I love the dialogue. So I love you.